Welcome, everybody. I'm just going to take a minute to check my phone and make sure there's not anybody who's locked out trying to get in, okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Thumbs ups are so dorky, I feel like it could be peace sign or a heart or anything else. Just give me one moment. All right, everyone, welcome. You're very welcome. We have about 30 people signed up, but I know quite a few said that they might not be able to make the live call and would look at the recording. So, so yeah, I think we'll just get started. And if anybody joins, Karina, can people join after? Like, can they pop in? Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye.
Okay, we might just, before we do the Heart and Rivers, would there be a way to prevent people joining them? I guess it's okay if they do. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think everyone will go into the waiting room, so they won't come in until I let them in. So
Okay.
should be okay.
Perfect. All right. Well, you're all very welcome. This is Karina. She's to my left there, the one who is speaking. Do you guys know Karina? Yeah, some of you do. Okay, awesome. Some of you don't. So Karina has been a dear friend of mine since I started serving cacao in Ireland. So she's been with me from the beginning of the journey, and she is the amazing person who packages your cacao and sends it out to you. She lives in Rathfarnham in Dublin, and all the cacao, I order it. It goes directly to her house from the families, and then she does her thing with it, maybe some Reiki. She gives it lots of love. The cacao has its own room in her house and a shed at the back. And yeah, she packages it all up for you and sends it out. So she is very dear to me, and Magic Earth Cacao could not exist right now without her. So thank you, Karina. Let's take a moment, because I know everybody has their cacao ready. And if you come to the call without a cup of cacao, that is okay too. You're still going to share in this energy with us. So don't worry about that. Or if you've chosen a cup of tea or something different, that is totally okay. And if at any time you can't hear me, feel free to somehow let yourself be known, either with your hand. Not everyone's videos are on. You can put it in the chat or whatever. And if any questions arise for you, let's just save them to the end. I'll definitely give a chance for Q&A, or if we don't have time for that, then you can always email me. But we should have some time for Q&A near the end. And if I could just ask you to put yourself on mute for now. Just as we go into this opening meditation. Thank you, everyone. Lisa, if you can try to put yourself on mute there, dear. Thank you so much. It's so great to see so many familiar faces and names. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Hey, Sheila. You look like you're sitting in fire. It's beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring our cups of cacao up to our hearts. Or our tea, or whatever you've chosen today. And I just want to say, if your screen is off because you have children with you, or you don't like your background or whatever, it's not like beautiful and picturesque, that's totally okay. I don't care what your background looks like. I'm just happy you're here. And if you have children or babies around you, like Vicky looks like she brought her beautiful daughter, then children are welcome to be. And I'm sorry I did not put that in the invitation. I really meant to. So allow your children or dogs or cats or partners, whoever's there with you is very welcome to be in the space with us as well. Oh, so taking a deep breath as we hold our hands to our hearts, or cow or whatever to our hearts. Let's just arrive in this virtual space with each other. Maybe start to deepen your breath. As we deepen our breath, it often helps us to slow down the thought. Just notice how you're feeling. How is your heart feeling right now? As you're connecting to your heart space and this energy of Mama Cacao, this plant spirit who supports us and guides us. Try to envision your mind, us physically present in a circle together. Though we are some of these 1,000 miles apart, thousands. See, can you connect to that energetic circle that is connecting to all of your different houses, your different. And know that when we come in to this circle together, we are sharing in the same energy, this energy of the heart. And in this space, this energy of the heart, there's no room for judgment, and there's no room for comparison. It's just pure love, pure acceptance of exactly where you are and everyone else in this moment. One of the many gifts from love and acceptance, pure heart energy. Now that we feel encircled together, connected to our heart, in our bodies, let's take a moment to give thanks to the indigenous peoples who plant and harvest and produce this ceremony of Cacao, and the ancestors who first discovered this plant and her amazing benefits, to the immediate families who produce the cacao we're working with, which is the Chupa family in Peru, and the Refugio Women's Collective in Guatemala. When we work with Cacao, we're really working with the elements of Mother Earth as well. The elements of Earth herself. The cacao grows in the soil, the elements of fire, the sun, which fuels the cacao's growth, the water, the rain, which the cacao can't grow without, and air, pollination of the plants, air within air of Mother Earth. We are more connected with this plant than a lot of people think. So we give gratitude for that. And let's again check in with your heart before we come back to opening our eyes, seeing each other. How is your heart feeling? Yeah. Knowing we're coming into this space. You have donated financially to a family in need in Palestine who is looking to escape to safety. Yesterday was International Women's Day, celebrating women and how far we've come and being recognized equally. Tomorrow is Mother's Day in Ireland. There was just this referendum vote yesterday, really affecting women and mothers, humanity at large. So with all this big energy, all these different things happening, how is your heart today? Maybe it's heavy, maybe it's sad, maybe it's happy, maybe it's confused. However your heart feels, we honor it always. Your heart is never wrong. It's always a place for you to come. And you're in alignment. Maybe choose one word for how your heart feels. Maybe a word came up to you. And keep that. Before we come back to opening our eyes, let's take a big inhale again. And an exhale, open mouth, let it go. And again, inhaling. Open mouth, really let it go. And we'll take one more together. Big inhale. Ah. When you're ready, you can come back to opening your eyes. And we'll sip our cacao, or whatever we have together. You're all very welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for donating to the GoFundMe. I guess I should say you can probably tell it's daylight behind me. And most of you, I believe, are in Ireland or Europe where it is dark now, or getting dark, is it? Maybe some of you are just in the dark rooms. It's getting there. I guess we're in spring now, aren't we? So it's staying a little brighter. But I am in the desert in Las Vegas, where I'm originally from, visiting family for a while. So that is why it looks very sunny where I am, and why I'm not going to send Cacao to you. We'll be back in Ireland in the summer, so we're looking forward to that. I'm just really grateful that I'm able to connect with everybody here virtually, and to for letting me use for Zoom. activated in Zoom not long ago. So yeah, I also haven't held an online space in quite a while because we've been over here taking care of family and stuff. And it just felt right to, with International Women's Day and Mother's Day coming up so close to each other. It was like early January. I felt like, that would be a good time to connect with the Magic Earth community. I would love that. And of course, the war in Palestine was happening. So it felt natural. Was there something there? Can you hear me? Thank you. So
Sorry, I think we have lost Mandalay, so I'm just gonna try and see if I can get her back in. Sorry, guys.
right, I'm back. Can everybody hear me? Sorry about that. Was it just me that like literally my internet box is like right there? So sorry about that. But what I was saying is it's the pregnant, birthing, and postpartum mothers that I've really been hurting for. Because my son is 3.5, but it doesn't seem that long ago at all that I birthed him and that I went through 9 months of pregnancy. And then of course the postpartum period. And I just can't fathom, like, this is the most vulnerable time I feel in a woman's life, being pregnant, the most monumental event of a woman's life, giving birth, and then triple, quadruple, 100 times more vulnerable, trying to keep a little baby alive and recover yourself from the marathon that is birth. And I just cannot fathom that women are doing this in those conditions. And what's happening actually is a lot of babies are being born prematurely and dying. Like the amount of support that women need in normal life circumstances right? So it's thinking of these women that really inspired me to start donating my money and to do this online circle. And it's hard to find a charity that just for that. So I found out from in the resistance to the genocide that's happening, and very influential women in Ireland speaking out. And a lot of aid is not even getting in. If you get Red Cross or whatever, you're not even guaranteed that the money's going to Palestine or to medical care, or so that was a bit disheartening. So yeah, how we ended up giving our donations to the GoFundMe for the Naban family is because one of my good friends, Laura Murphy, has been raising funds for this family, and they're very close to reaching their goal of $50,000. They're at like 42, almost at 42,000. So there is 14 people in this family. Thankfully, 3 of the mothers and 4 children have already crossed the Egyptian border, but this family has been displaced many times from camp to camp. And they can actually support themselves once they get into Egypt. I don't know exactly everything. I don't know this family personally. I'm not communicating with them personally, but it felt good to me knowing that the money is going to go direct to people rather than a big umbrella organization, and not knowing. So that's why we're giving to this GoFundMe. And we've raised almost $500. So that's amazing. Thank you. I will be giving that money to the GoFundMe on the 12th. It will be available for me to transfer over. So I'll be doing that then. And I'll put on the Magic Girl Cacao Instagram a little link so that we can keep track and see how far they get. Yeah, so that's why the donations are going to them. And if anybody discovers any charities or any GoFundMes that have direct medical care to birthing, postpartum and prepartum mothers, please do let me know, because I will freaking shout that GoFundMe from the rooftops. So yeah, and it's like, why International Women's Day as well? For me, I've celebrated many International Women's Days over the years, and it's like amazing. Let's celebrate women, let's celebrate everything that we've done. But I realized I actually didn't know the history of it. So in choosing Women's Day as the time for us to get together, I did a little research. Does anybody else know the history of Women's Day? You can just give a little hand, yes or no. No, so I thought it's important because cacao is a very intentional medicine, right? So for me, it's really important when I'm drinking cacao, even if it's not a full ceremonial dose, like now, even if I'm not going into a mad deep ceremony, it's like the intention always has to be there for me. So I looked into the history of International Women's Day, and I'll tell you, it's the Greek timeline. So in 1908, 15,000 women, that was a lot back then, marched the streets of New York asking for better pay, less work hours, and the right to vote. A year later, the Socialist Party declared a National Women's Day in the US. A year later, in 1910, an amazing woman named Clara, a women's rights activist and communist, she went to some international meeting in Copenhagen and asked for Women's Day to be recognized. And just a year later, the first Women's Day, 1911, the very first Women's Day was celebrated in Europe, in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Denmark. And then in 1975, so 64 years later, the UN, so 1975, like I'm sure some of us were probably born then. And if not, it was during our mother's time. So it wasn't until then, 1975 is not that long ago. that Women's Day was recognized by the UN and started to be celebrated internationally. And one of my friends was telling me she has a friend, and I can't remember what country she's from, but she said Women's Day is so huge. Like there's parades everywhere. People march the streets, women dress up in their very best and go out. So it's interesting to know that Women's Day is celebrated differently in different places in the world, but also that Women's Day was born out of the labor movement. And another interesting thing about this, like why we have to keep celebrating Women's Day, is because the UN says by 2030, so that's only 6 years from now, if we continue at the rate we are, like women making men and this is not just in the Western world where we are, this is also with migrant workers, like the women who produce the cacao that we drink. Within 6 years, if we continue at the rate we are at, not recognizing women equally in the workplace, there will be 342 million women and girls living in extreme poverty, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, when we think about, like, I didn't think that, I thought women as not a race, as a gender across the world, I thought we were much better off than that. But apparently we're not. The other really interesting fact that I learned was that women, and actually it's not a surprise at all, but that women spend 3 times more of their time giving care to others, right? Unpaid care to others, 3 times more than men do. We're not surprised by that. We know that we do this. But what's really interesting about it is if this time that we invest in caring for others, if we were paid for this time, if there was a value on it, it would contribute to 40% of the world GDP, gross domestic product. So that's an economic measurement that means a lot of money. That means almost half of the money moving around in the world would be contributed to us and the care that we give to people. Like, that's insane. So it's really important that we keep pushing our governments to make policy that women end up better off financially. And then the other fact that is really amazing, I learned this a few months ago, is that women, when we're in leadership and when we have money, we give back 30% more to our communities than men do. And this is not to bash men at all. Like, we need them. We need the masculine with the feminine within ourselves and outside of ourselves. So it's not bashing them at all, right? It's just like giving back 30%. If everyone was giving back 30% more to our communities, like, how much better off would everyone be, So I just thought it was really important to chat about that a little bit, being that I know a lot of us, we don't know those things about Women's Day. It seems like women, like, we're really freaking good off, and we still have a long way to come. Another thing is, like, why do we gather? Why did I want to bring this together on Women's Day in support of Palestine? Because in times like we're in now, it feels good to gather, right? It feels good in our hearts. It feels good in our souls. We remember that we're not alone feeling bad at home for what we don't have control over in Palestine, for example. It's really the only balm that can soothe us in times like this, is coming together in community. Yeah, it's just, I wish I was with everybody in person. I wish that we could hold hands and hug. And I know that there are a lot of gatherings happening right now like that. I'm just not there to join them. So yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say about that. I think everybody knows and feels the same as me. It feels really good to come together. And I would like to ask if you don't mind sharing, just to, well, that was the other thing I was going to say is, I haven't been that outwardly vocal on social media about my support of Palestine and Palestinian mothers. And I've been donating money. I have written to politicians over here in the US. Actually, nobody really gives a shit, which is very sad. There are no protests happening. I'm trying really hard not to cry at this stuff, but like there's not much you can do over here. The politicians aren't going to listen to you. It feels like over in Ireland, you guys are getting a lot further and making a difference. It doesn't seem like much of a difference, but you guys are making so much noise. Like at least politicians are listening, right? So I think it's important to note that we all do our best. We're all doing what we can to support these people over in Palestine, these women, these mothers who are living in these deplorable conditions and such fear. And in a few minutes, we're going to go into some movement to work at sending our love and our prayers to them. And there's some people who feel like how can you touch another person at such distance, right? But I truly believe, especially with working with Cacao, that we can send love and hope and prayers to those people. They might not hear them, right, in their ears from our mouths, but they may feel them in different ways. Like, who's to say that the prayers we send today don't give a person, a mother over there, a little glimmer of hope? Like, have you ever, let me think of an example. Have you ever been really down or been going through a really hard time and maybe a little feather or a bird crosses your path or a cat or something else, and it just brings a little glimmer of hope, maybe a little smile to your face or your heart, and you think like, okay, I can keep going, right? Who's to say that that was not someone's prayer that manifested in that little bird or that feather or leaf or whatever it is? So that's why we're doing this. That's why we come together, to soothe ourselves, to know that we're not alone. And that's why we send our prayers. That's why we do this empathetic work, in hopes, in trust that somebody in despair, these women, these mothers in Palestine, they're going to feel it in some way. So before we go into the movements, I would like to ask, I'm very curious, what word came up for people around how your heart is feeling today? If you want to put it in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and say it out loud, I would love to hear. I can actually go around. I can ask you, Karina, first. Do you have a word come up for yourself? Aoife Sanat says heavy.
Love.
Love. Lovely. Vicky Baker says hopeful. Sarah Kilcoyne, trust. Beautiful. Sheila. Tinar and Lisa, you're very welcome. Sinead Byrne, heaviness. Rowena's. Sinead, scared. Hopeful. Anxious. Wonderful. Mine was also heavy. Lightness, I love it. Mine feels light from time to time. Yeah, sad. Of course, burdened. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for sharing that. It's nice to see where everyone's at on the spectrum of heart feelings. Yeah, I'd like to now go into some movement. We'll go into movement for probably about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how it feels. The movements that I would like us to do, some of you have probably done before. They're called the Heart, Womb, River Yogas. Has anybody not done Heart, Womb, River Yogas before? Just put up a little hand or say something in the chat. Say no in the chat. Okay. No, yeah, that's okay. I know if you've done workshops with me, you definitely have done it. There's a lot of other women in Ireland, facilitators, I should say, who also work with partner yogas. I learned this energetic practice from one of my teachers who lived in March2024. And there's a lot of other Irish female facilitators, women's group facilitators who have also learned from her. And you can do this 2 different ways. Let me have another drink of my cacao before I demonstrate. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to play some music in the background for you. I'm going to mic myself up because I'm going to step away from the screen to demonstrate this. And I might not be able to hear you, but the important thing is that you hear me. So. Oh, can you hear me, Karina? Yeah. Is there anybody who cannot hear me? Let me know. Looks like everybody can. Okay, perfect. And if you're feeling low energy, I'm gonna demonstrate the low energy version. So there's 2 versions. What we're gonna do the releasing movements, and then we're gonna do the collecting movements, and then we're gonna send our prayers. So it's like we're cleansing our energy, we're revitalizing our energy, right? And we're sending those heart prayers out to the mothers and babies and women and families outside after launch. So yeah, so I'm going to demonstrate first the releasing. If you are bleeding, this is a really good practice to do during your bleed or post-ovulation time. If you are at ovulation or pre-ovulation, and this doesn't feel good to do this movement, then you don't have to. You can just continue. You can just do the collecting, which I'll show you in a minute, and vice versa. If you're bleeding or pre-bleed and you only want to work on the release, then that's okay too. So we can do this seated or standing. Okay. You're gonna give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Okay. So, and I think you can close to the head, right? Yeah. Okay. So we start with our hands here at the womb space. We're making a small yoni mudra. It's like it symbolizes the same kind of shape as the womb space. We start with the legs apart. If you're seated, you can be on your knees, palm on your knees. And it's the same thing. So we start with yoni mudra over the womb space. We connect with our womb energy, power, intuition, creativity. Is there anything we need to let go of, right? And maybe there isn't, and we're just coming back into the bottom for you. Start here, we connect, and then we drop this down, release to the earth. We want to be open. We bring the arms up, palm up, so we inhale. And we take the hands. I like to use this lotus mudra, right? And touching, hands opening. It's like we're collecting from the cosmos, from divine consciousness, from the Akashic records, the astrological makeups, all of this wondrous, magical stuff that's happening in our lives and reflected up here. It's like we're filling up our cup with all of that and dropping it into our hearts. And then we come back to you where you drop that heart energy down into the room space and continue down to the earth. It's like we release what we don't need to be decomposed and rebirthed into new life. Inhale up, dropping that down into the heart, exhaling as we come down. We inhale up, collecting all that positive goodness, dropping it into the heart. Then you direct the heart, drop it down to the room space and to the earth. So you can do that also seated on the sofa or chair. You can also do it standing up if you feel you have more energy. So that is the release. And then we'll come for a moment back to center. And then we'll move into the collection, right? So it's like we're collecting all that goodness, all that nourishing and nurturing stuff from the river. You can still start at your knee, you can start anywhere on the body. We lift up on an inhale. And we come down on the exhale. And we gather all the yumminess, water, food, energy, whatever it is, we bring that into the room space, filling her up. We bring that up to the heart, filling it up. And then notice moving the hands up to the sky. As we exhale, we drop down. Really open up those hearts as we drop down. Gather all the little things we need when we have skipped. Bring those up to the room. Drag that up with the diamond to the heart. And then up to the sky. We're back to the positive. Thank you and giving gratitude. And then back down to the heart. Nourish and nurture. And again, we can do this seated or standing. And what we do through these little bits, we try to get out of the head and not think about what they look like. It's about how it feels in your body, right? And this is an amazing, I do these almost every day, depending on where I'm at in my cycle. It's a really amazing way to feel your energy. It also just feels really good in moving. Okay. So again, don't worry what it looks like. Just try to allow yourself to get into that meditative flow state where you're not thinking about breathe out, breathe in. It'll just flow through. Okay? Cool. I am going to try to play this music. Let's see if we can get on from this. Okay. Can we hear that? No, let me share again. Screen sharing. Can we hear that now? Is it sharing now, Karina? No? Right, let's try one more time. Do you think you can try sharing it from your end?
If you go to advanced, screen share, then advanced, and then the share computer audio.
Let me try. I'll go to screen share.
And then there should be an advanced button.
Let me try that. Layouts and options, screen share, advanced.
Share computer audio.
Let's see if that works.
Hear you with the music.
the space. And just take a moment, feel that energy coursing through your body. You reconnect with your breath if you lost it. When you're ready, bring the hands to prayer at the heart. We're going to move now into the motion of collection and nourishment. So hands at prayer, at the heart. As we inhale, we bring our hands up. And as we exhale, we reach down and collect from Mother Earth the nourishment we need to bring into our bodies, still strong and whole and balanced. Hopefully you're feeling balance in your body. Hopefully you're feeling energized yet grounded. Hopefully you're feeling in tune with your breath. Hopefully you're feeling in tune with your heart. And it's from this place I now want you, if you're not there already, I want us together to bring into this circle, to shower with our heart energy, these mothers and families of Palestine. Particularly these mothers in pregnancy, no doubt in this very second, preparing for birth or birthing, in early postpartum, and the Devon family, who we raised funds for, who are so desperately seeking to get to safety. We hold these people in our circle of heart energy. We send them our love and our strength. May you continue to be brave. May you continue to survive. May you continue to love. May you continue to trust in humanity. May you continue. May you live. If it was possible to share some bits of our hearts, I'm sure each one of us would be posting little bits over to help these people continue fighting, to trust in love, and to trust in love. And if you have any little prayer of your own that you'd like to silently send, feel free to do that now. Also, who's come really clear in my mind just now is all the children left without parents. And the parents who have lost their children. May you continue to trust. May you continue to love. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me in that. You're welcome whenever you're ready to come back to the screen. And come back to the circle with each other. I forgot to say it at the beginning of our call, but I did say it in the invitation that you are welcome to bring any poems or prayers or words or art, anything that inspires you this Mother's Day and International Women's Day and referendum time and sending prayers to Palestine. So if anybody has anything they'd like to share, I invite you to unmute yourself and share it now. I see Vicky's daughter has some artwork there. I'm just going to zoom in on you so I can see it. Yeah, can you hold it up to the screen there? Did you make that yourself? Wow, that is amazing. And what's the other one you have there, dear? You're very special. Very special girl. Thank you for being here with us. You're also very brave to join all these mamas and adult ladies. You're a super cool kid, but I'm sure you know that. Got a super cool mama, so I guess it's bound to happen. Is there anyone else that had a poem or any words they wanted to share? No. That's okay. I have a poem that I would like to share. I have so many of them, but this one. So one of my favorite poets and women's advocates is Rupi Kaur. Do you guys know Rupi Kaur? She wrote the book Milk and Honey. I mean, she's pretty famous now. She just recently turned down, it's big news here in the US. The White House invited her to a Diwali event. I don't know if you guys saw that. And she publicly declined in a really freaking awesome way. She's just like such an awesome woman. So yeah, I often in my workshops and stuff include her poetry because it just like lands so right, you know, she's just on it. So I wanted to see if she had any poems for Palestine, and I didn't find anything in particular. She does have a new book coming out. Apparently she's written a lot of new poetry, so I guarantee there's going to be some amazing stuff in there and definitely some stuff supporting Palestine. But there was a poem from a famous Palestinian poet, a man, who she shared recently. And some of you may have read this poem or heard it already. This man has since died. He was killed. Which is very sad because he's an amazing artist. So it goes like this. If I must die, you must live. To tell my story, to sell my things, to buy a piece of cloth and some strings, make it white with a long tail, so that a child somewhere in Gaza, while looking heaven in the eye, awaiting his dad who left in a blaze, and bid no one farewell, not even to his flesh, not even to himself, sees the kite, my kite you made flying up above, and thinks for a moment an angel is there, bringing back love. If I must die, let it bring hope, let it be a tale. So that's from Rafat Al-Arir. And he was killed December 7th, 2023. But left us that amazing piece of work and no doubt many others. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for being here with me and sharing. Thank you so much to Vicky's daughter for sharing her artwork. And as we close the space, leaving our virtual circle, but continuing to stay connected to this place right here. Let's give thanks again to the spirit of Mama Cacao, for it is her that has brought us all together here to be able to send our prayers to the families in Palestine. So thank you to Mama Cacao, and of course, the people, the indigenous peoples and the ancestors who discovered and continue to grow and provide this heart opening medicine to us. And before we sign off, just a thank you to yourself for being brave enough to keep your hearts open. It's very easy at times like these to shut them off and to close our eyes. It's so much easier. So thank yourself, thank your heart for being big and brave. And stay in touch. I hope to see you again. I'll be in Ireland July 7th for the yoga picnic, which is in, I can't remember, it's near Athlone, right? Or am I wrong? Near Tullamore, not far from there. Anyways, I'll be advertising that sounds weird. I'll be sharing that I'm there and the exact location. Karina will be there as well. So maybe we'll see you there, and I'm hoping to have some workshops or retreats in person when I'm home. So, yeah, just the very best of you. Go gently into your evening and into the rest of your weekend tomorrow. I love you very much for being here and for supporting Magic Earth Cacao. And I can tell you, the families, the Kisputupa family and the Rupashoya Women's Collective, they appreciate you so much. They're very deeply spiritual people. They're very private people. They are not privy to social media, and it's not really their style to be opening up themselves to the mass public. So this is why you don't really hear from them or see them. You see me and Magic Earth Cacao instead. I'd just like to say we now provide to Ireland around 400 pounds of cacao every single month. So you guys supporting Magic Earth Cacao means that you are supporting these Indigenous families directly, who consist of female migrant workers who, on the scale of being women in the workplace, are definitely underpaid and definitely need our support. So we got a lot of things in this hour and a half. I know, but I know all of our big brave hearts can handle it. So thank you very much. I will see you soon. Reach out anytime, and yeah, we'll be in touch. Mwah. Lisa, are you in Spain right now? Wave your hand. You are in Spain right now? Oh my God, it's so good to see you. Lisa, Lisa's from Dublin,
Thank
guys.
you.
You're welcome. Lisa
I'm at my salon.
You're in the salon? Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I just made a nice little cozy tonight, and I have all the candles and everything. I wanted to bring in the nice energy, and it's nice and calm and quiet. So yeah,
Great. Well,
lovely.
if you guys ever head to Marbella, a little town named Estepona is not far from there. And that's where Lisa just opened up a gorgeous hair and beauty studio called The Loft. And she's stocking and serving Magic Earth Cacao there. But forget about even the cacao, just go visit her at her beautiful studio if you're down near Marbella. She's lovely. Thank you for being here with us, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one.
Good night.
Good night. Bye, Sarah, Cora, Rowena, Reed. It's good good to see your face. I always see your name come through in orders, but I haven't ever seen your face. So it's good to put a face to the name. Tatiana, I haven't seen you in ages. Lady, thank you for being here. Means a lot. Looks like Catherine and a few other people have already signed off. I love you all. Pinar, so great to see your face. I see your name too. Don't be a stranger, guys. Keep in touch for sure. And have a lovely, lovely evening. Oh, and to those, well, I guess it's too late to say to those who are watching the recording because they will have already watched it by now. Tatiana must have walked away from her. Must have walked away from her screen. Are you there, Tatiana? No. I guess we can stop the recording now, hon. Thank you so much for letting us use it.